Hi YouTube, this is Gloveman New York, and I'd like to start off with a warning to all those that collect misprints, especially the people that are just starting out. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube where people actually alter cards. They show you how to alter the card to make it look like a misprint. I've saw one on, obviously the older ones are like turning super rares into secret rares, changing ultimate rare into a ghost rare, taking the ink off of the attribute so it looks like an ultimate rare, just things like that. And so you really have to watch out to see if what you're buying is a true factory misprint or if it's just a card that was altered. I'll just give you some examples of the ones that I've collected over the years. Early on, got this Exiled Force. This is basically just the covers taken off and, you know, whatever. It's a learning experience. That was way early. The next misprint fake that I got, this was when they first were starting out turning supers into secrets, secret swords. Let's see if we can get the secret in there. It's pretty cool looking. But if you really look close, you'll see, and this is actually a pretty good one, because you really have to look close to see the bubbles in the paper. But this was done pretty good. They took their time on this one. But it's altered, so to me it's not really worth anything. Then you just got fake cards like a secret Dark Assassin that are just fake. I mean, even the back looks real, except there is no secret rare Dark Assassin. And then somebody really screwed up and made a secret rare Pot of Duality into a super rare, and why they would even do that I have no idea, but they did. And anyway, this really wasn't even done very well. You can see all the ridges and the lines on the edges and all that sort of thing. And this is what I found when it was the Pot of Duality just came out. So, you know, why they took an expensive card and tried to turn it into a super rare, I have no idea. But anyway, you really got to watch that. And you'll see some on eBay that are obvious, but just got to watch out what you're buying. Okay. Oh, the misprint binder is going to be at Milwaukee on October, let me get my dates. I had it written down. Okay. We're going to see Cascade at Navy Pier on October 12th. Cool. And then we're running over to Milwaukee Regional on October 13th. So we'll be there. And then the following weekend is a regional in Chicago, and the misprint binder will be there. So if you want to see it, just be there. And if you're there, just let me know, and you want to see it, and I'll show it to you. No big deal. So how are you going to recognize me? Well, if you look up Goyo Tin Opening on YouTube, maybe a couple minutes into it, you'll see a tall, geeky looking guy. I'm actually Eagle Fan 159's dad, and that would be me. So just look for me, and if you want to take a look at the binder, just ask. Got a question for you. A lot of people are not aware of changes in the cards over the years, and one of the most common, well-known changes that in the first edition of LOB it was the Trial of Hell, and then they later changed it in the Unlimited editions to Trial of Nightmare. But it's happened more than once. After the Struggle, in the first edition, was called After Genocide. And the reason they changed their names was because the people in the United States said, well, hell, you can't say hell, like, you know, that's a bad word, so you got to change it. So, or genocide, that's a bad word. And so in the unlimited edition and the next editions that they printed, they changed the word. Another one was Dark Assassin. Well, Assassin, that's a bad word, so you can't have that. So then it was Dark Assailant. So my question to you is if there's any other ones, any other cards that you know of where Konami changed either the name or the picture or something about the card in later editions where they're not really misprints, but they have been changed. Please let me know either by commenting on the video or by sending me a message. And I like to include those types of things in the misprint binder. They're not misprints, but it's a little bit of history of the game that I like to keep in there too. I mean, there's just some, you know, there's things like the Mad Lobster has 2 different images. It's not a big deal, but some people aren't aware of it. This is pretty common. But just things like that, where it's a little bit different. And just let me know. I'd like to include that in the misprint binder too. Okay, so that's a question for you. I'm going to answer a question that was sent to me, and that is, what's the most expensive card or most expensive misprint you ever bought? And I'm not going to divulge that because I pay way too much for misprints, but because I like them. I'll show you my favorites in the binder. There's a lot of misprints. There's like no name, offset name, all those sorts of things. But the ones I like preferably, I personally like offset holographics. And here's a Lila. Okay, bad condition. But when you're buying misprints, you don't really care too much about condition. Ultimate Lila. And sometimes you see holographics that are offset by a centimeter or 2. It's not a big deal. You won't see those in the misprint binder. It's offset like a lot. Those are what I like. If it's a playable card, great. If it's not a playable card, that's fine too. I'm just looking for the misprint. So I like the Lila because it's a playable card. It's got a big offset holographic. Misprint collectors will recognize this one. I also like the double image. That's where you get 2 images in the picture. There you go. I got a couple of Pot of Avarists. I think there's 2 more out there in circulation that I'd like to get a hold of, but now in the German, so this is Blade Edge and Ancient Gear Golem. You didn't. Now in the German edition of one of the later sets, in Secret Rare, you'll see a lot of the double image, so it's pretty common now, but I'm talking about the older sets. Those are the ones that I really like. So, what I consider my favorite misprint actually isn't the misprint at all. It's a color test print card. And everybody knows what a color test print card is. And they come in commons and ultra rares, secret rares, and there's reverse prints going from one color to another, and some have the hologram, some have first edition. So those are fairly common. Secret rares are probably the hardest to come by. But this one actually, I first saw it on Google Images, and I've never seen one for sale or on eBay, anything like, or even talked about. And it was, if one came available, I knew I had to have it. It's just one of those things. And it's very unusual. And so one came available and I paid the price. So here it is. From my understanding, it's from Legends of Blue Eyes LOB First Edition box. You can see the gold foil holographics, or I have Anubis, and the colors go from sideways versus up and down. and this one is in mint condition. And if the fellow that sold it to me is watching this, I thank you very much. And I'm never going to get rid of this because I've never seen one and probably never ever will see one again. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Any other questions that you want to send my way, just let me know. I will get back to doing videos on misprints that I'm selling in my next video, which I'll be making a little bit later on today. So thanks for watching. Peace.